Do you have anything else to say to the other vampires listening out there?
As a matter of fact, I do. Come out, wherever you are.
For as long as I can remember, I have seen vampires on screen, from Dracula lurking in the shadows, or even Blade slicing through bloodsuckers with his sword. Vampires have always been there, shape-shifting through generations and adapting to whatever the world feared or fantasized about. While movies and shows tend to show the positives and negatives of being a creature of the night, the movie we are looking at today, called Queen of the Damned, 2002, perfectly captures both sides of being a vampire, the positives and the actual curse of being a vampire. Queen of the Damned doesn't really change the lore of vampires, it just modernizes it. Vampires still couldn't walk in sunlight, and they were also able to live forever. Throughout the 2000s, horror movies started to include rock music in their films. Queen of the Damned included the heavy metal music and mixed it well with vampires. The reinvention modernizes the classic vampire myth. Lestat, played by Stuart Townsend, is a vampire and also the main protagonist of the film. He chose to stop lurking in the shadows and instead became a lead singer in a metal band, using his immortality and charm to dominate the stage. What woke him up from his tomb in the first place was the heavy metal music playing from a band that sounded fantastic to him. Instead of lurking in the shadows like the vampires before him, Lestat embraced his fame and craves the spotlight. He was a perfect fit for rock stardom. Out of boredom, he woke up from his tomb, and rock music became the new way for him to feel alive. Before we go any further, we need to speak about Lestat, on where he came from and how he came to be a lead singer in a rock band and became well known worldwide in the Queen of the Damned universe. Lestat was just another vampire lost in the shadows of eternity. Marius was the vampire who would turn him into a vampire in the first place after discovering his passion, curiosity, and potential. He was drawn to Lestat's bold spirit and longing for something greater. Marius saw that Lestat had a hunger for life, knowledge, and experience that most humans and even vampires had lost. He takes Lestat under his wing, teaching him the rules of vampirism, but also keeping secrets. We will get to those hidden secrets in a moment. Lestat's first introduction to music was when he heard a woman playing the violin, and little did he know, centuries later, that this was going to be the reason why he awakens again. After a man figured out that Lestat wasn't human, Marius and Lestat were forced to kill the two humans so no one else would have suspected them of being vampires. Marius told Lestat before the incident occurred that vampires must stay in the shadows so there wouldn't be conflict with humans. Since they were immortal and couldn't pass away like humans did, Lestat completely disagreed with Marius' way and the other vampires' way of living. He kept several dangerous secrets from Lestat. He was guarding a sacred tomb that housed Akasha and Enkel, who were the original vampire queen and king. Their presence was a myth to most vampires. It was something ancient and unspeakable. Lestat had no idea who they were at first until he went into the sacred room. Marius never really told him the full story. He only warned him to not enter the room. This secret was kept hidden from Lestat because if Akasha were to awaken, then she could destroy everything. Marius feared what she was capable of and didn't trust Lestat's rebellious nature to leave her alone. With that being said, Marius abandoned Lestat because he feared Lestat's curiosity and defiance would awaken Akasha, the deadly vampire queen he was sworn to keep hidden. He thought without a guide or influence, Lestat would lose interest or stay out of trouble. But Marius couldn't have been any more wrong. Lestat was awakened from a band that was playing nearby, and that awoke something in him that he was looking for quite some time: a purpose. The rawness, emotion, and power in the music pulled him in. It spoke to his eternal longing for excitement and purpose. He saw music as a way to express his weariness of being immortal, his loneliness, and also his desire to be seen, something that centuries of silence had denied him. Vampires, basically in any other movie or TV show you might have seen, often live in isolation, disconnected from the living world. But music, especially rock, is loud, alive, and full of rebellion. Lestat related to that rebellion. It mirrored his own desire to break the rules, to challenge vampire tradition, and to be known. He didn't just fall in love with music. He uses it as a weapon, a signal to the other vampires, and a way to reclaim his voice. Deep down though, there was still that aching feeling of loneliness that fame couldn't fix. Lestat's music and fame are used as temporary distractions from the emptiness he felt. The longer he lived, the more meaning he lost. Time became a trap, not a gift. Enter Jessie. She was a curious and fearless researcher of the paranormal who became deeply fascinated with Lestat and the vampire world. Despite the danger, she's drawn to Lestat not just for who he is, but for the humanity she believed still existed within him. In a way, Jessie kind of fixed Lestat's loneliness, but not completely. Jessie represented something rare and human that Lestat hadn't felt in centuries: a genuine connection. She didn't fear him. She didn't worship him like a fan or try to manipulate him like Akasha. She simply wanted to understand him. And for someone like Lestat, who was surrounded by either terrified humans or ancient, disconnected vampires, that connection meant everything. Jessie couldn't fully feel the emptiness in him because immortality still lingered like a ghost behind every moment of peace. Turning her into a vampire helped him feel less alone, but he was still Lestat, the eternal outsider. Lestat's love for music wasn't just a hobby, it was his reawakening. It was a bridge between his immortal curse and the modern world. It was a spark that led to everything else: the fame, Akasha's awakening, and ultimately his confrontation with what being a vampire truly meant to him: finding meaning after death.